This is Marie Gasper-Hulvat.
Juli-Ann Gasper.
So we are in the new Tretiakov gallery in Moscow, Russia, and now we're sitting in front of Kazimir Malevich's Woman with a Rake from sometime between 1928 and 1932. So we have the form of a woman, sort of, holding a very simple line drawing of what appears to be a rake, and then a bunch of stripes basically in the background with a couple of houses on top of one of the stripes. And her body is made up of all sorts of different geometric forms.
I think it's interesting that each form is each is a different color block.
Mm-hmm.
And the color blocks in the painting are red, black, white, and blue. And one tiny little piece of yellow around the belt and a yellow hand.
Mm-hmm. And there's also a little bit of green belt on
okay.
the opposite side, yeah.
Yeah.
It's balanced, but then there's a little bit of something to throw it off.
Mm-hmm.
Malevich was very interested in working with balancing and juxtaposing different forms and different colors, and the way that the form and its color interacted with other forms and colors. So you'll see, for example, on her wrists, the wrist bands on each side interact differently with the stripes behind them, so that on the left it interacts with both the black and the white stripe. So it's kind of juxtaposed against those two. And then on the right, it's almost fully contained in the white stripe.
Well, and the white stripe is below the black one, and if you look at her shoulder on the right, that shoulder is lower also.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's also interesting to look at the hem of her dress, with the blue on the one side and the red on the other, going below the black and white forms and then continuing on into the foot structure.
Mm-hmm.
But the hem is not solid. It's longer on the left side, and then it stops and goes up a step and goes over along the right side a step higher. There's kind of a very subtle play with the way that the forms interact with one another.
It makes them seem active in a way, because a skirt naturally hangs not straight unless you're standing perfectly still.
Mm-hmm.
As you move, part of it moves forward and part of it moves backwards. And so she is standing still, but you know that she's been moving or will be moving.
Yeah, there's a bit of a dynamic nature to it, absolutely, which is odd because that's juxtaposed with this very solid looking body. For the most part, she looks very still, very supported, grounded. Now, Malevich created this work of art after his abstract period. So we saw the black square, he created that, and then he created all sorts of suprematist compositions, created entirely abstract works of art that have geometric forms balanced with one another, but geometric forms that don't represent anything. Yeah, they're non-representational.
Played with color and line and shape.
Yes.
But now he's putting the color and the line and the shape into something that's recognizable.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, that's a great question. There are many different theories dealing with historical circumstances in terms of this is the early Stalin period, so there was some pressure upon artists to start creating works of art that were more traditional, more conservative, not avant-garde. There's also a question about how he wanted to interpret, how he wanted the world to interpret his artistic career. And there's some discussion about whether this is a representation of how he wanted his legacy as an artist to be seen. What happens in this work and many of the other figurative works that he did around the same time is he pulls in the things that he learned about form and color, juxtaposition of lines, the things that he learned from suprematism, and he applies that to themes that he worked on before he started painting abstract work. He painted a lot of images of peasants in his early career, and he comes back to that theme in these works. There's something very compelling about this image and the other ones that he did at this point in time that I have thus far found to defy explanation. It's something to do with the simplicity of the form, yet the complexity of the way that it's put together. It's accessible, it's easily accessible, but at the same time, when you actually look at the paintings, it's extremely dense and not easily legible.